Good morning and welcome back to our midweek edition of GMNC. We have a great hour-long lineup just for you. So grab your coffee and enjoy the show with us. Thank you to the beautiful Lamantan, the Hair Shack and Puza Water as our morning show sponsors. We appreciate everything that you do for us. Let's kick it off with the weather and surf report.
Good morning and welcome to your weather for today, brought to you by Victory Surf. Today we'll have a brilliant sunshine with a high of 27 degrees and a low of 16 degrees. The real feel will be 28 degrees and a real feel shade 26. We have a north-northeasterly wind at 9 kilometers per hour and wind gusts at 33 kilometers per hour. Also just 1% chance of showers today. The sunrise will be at 6:34 a.m. and the sunset at 5:09 p.m. Pretoria, sunny with a high of 21 degrees and a low of 8 degrees. Joburg, mostly cloudy with a high of 19 degrees and a low of 8 degrees. Cape Town, not as warm with showers in the morning with a high of 21 degrees and a low of 12 degrees. Next up will be your surf report brought to you by Deon Bosman.
The magic of an accompaniment, tailor-made in the fashion.
Good morning, Ballito, and welcome to Wednesday morning's beach report. And another beautiful day on the east coast of Africa, and May is still the best weather in the country right now. We've got beautiful 23, 24 degree temperatures and clean beaches. The ocean is cleaned up beautifully, and with a low tide around lunchtime, it's going to get better and better during the day. Light northwesterly breezes this morning as usual, and an onshore of between 12 and 14 knots by sort of 11, 12 o'clock today. So stunning beach weather, fun little waves at the main beach and the bog. And maybe the kite boarders will put up some big kites this afternoon at Tiffany's Reef, but I don't think there's enough at 14 knots. There might be one or two foilers out there, but this morning's definitely bodyboard, surf and sup conditions. Enjoy your day, guys. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Get out there.
Welcome back. I'm sitting with Sharon Castle, just giving you a dose of some daily inspiration. Sharon, welcome on the couch.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm really good. Thank
It's
you. How are
lovely to
you?
have you. I'm fantastic.
Great.
So what do you have for us in terms of motivation and just inspiring us and getting us out of the clutter?
Yes, the noise in our heads,
Yeah.
right? You know, what came to mind was to talk a little bit about what most people are looking at in terms of how they see their lives and the misunderstanding
Okay.
of how we really work.
Sure.
Of how the human mind and the human brain really works.
Yes,
So
yeah.
we have all of these ideas about how things can affect us and how life can throw us curved balls, etc. And none of those things are untrue.
Yeah.
But the real misunderstanding that most people don't realize is that it's not our circumstances or the outside stuff that's actually affecting us.
Sure.
What really is affecting us is the way we think about it.
Absolutely okay.
So life is always going to happen. You're always going to have circumstances and situations and even people that may trigger you in some way. But it's not because of what they are doing or saying. It's because of what you are thinking.
So it's your perceptions of what's happening around you and what
Yes.
meaning you're creating out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about the story, you know, essentially, because your memories are just collected thoughts from the past.
Yes, yeah.
That's all they are. So we're not saying things didn't happen. What we're saying is that although those things happened, they're not happening now.
True.
Except for when you get it into your head. And then it feels in the body as if it's actually happening
Yeah.
right now in your current reality.
Sure.
But it's just the memory, the stored thoughts that's now showing up in the present moment. But it's already gone. Likewise, a lot of people stress about the future. What if? What if this? What if that? And we're living in dire circumstances right now with
Yeah.
what's going on in the planet.
Absolutely.
But again, all we have is now. We don't have tomorrow. We don't have next week, and we can't really know what's going to happen. It's wonderful to plan and have visions and goals, all of those things, but we can't be too attached
Yeah.
as to how we want it to look.
I think what you're saying speaks to what we're seeing a lot happening now, where people are really anxious.
Yes.
They're anxious, they're depressed, and they're on medication.
Yes.
Is there any way that people can sort of train themselves or mind their way they're thinking or mind their thoughts? How do people navigate or control what's happening inside of them?
That's such a lovely question, because what it is really just about noticing when you don't feel good.
Yeah.
It's in the feeling. You know, just do this with your hand.
Sure.
And hold on to that. And just feel how much energy it takes.
Yeah,
So
a
keep
lot.
holding on to it.
Yeah.
So that's what we do to ourselves. We hold all of our thinking like a vice grip. And the moment you do that, that's when you get yourself into trouble and you feel like you're suffering. But if you just loosen up a little, it's like an
Feels good.
instant release.
Absolutely.
You know, and if we're doing that with our heads and our hearts
Yeah.
and our minds and our brains all the time, it kind of makes sense that we're going to be showing up in life all, tense and contracted.
Yeah.
And if you want to navigate life better, you need to be a bit more expansive rather than contracted. So, I hope that answers your question, because really we've only got now. So we can't really be looking at what happened then or looking at what's going to happen in the future,
And you help people daily. Tell us about your coaching program.
Yes, well, I've got Mindfit Coaching Academy, and I'm very proud of it. We've only been going for 1 year.
Wow.
And we graduated 20 people last year through the academy. Well, in November. We started
Okay.
in May, and they went on a 6-month coaching program called Mindfit Training for Coaches.
All right.
And we've also got the most amazing program called The Awakening. And that is a 3-month program which is basically helping people to understand what it takes to wake themselves up to who they really are.
True.
Okay.
Okay.
Not trying to emulate other people out there, but the uniqueness of who you are in your own skin and in your own space and with your own life.
I love that.
So
yeah.
waking up to that means that you're constantly in a state of like curiosity about life, not like, oh, what will people think and what will people, be perceiving me as. And you asked that question earlier. It's about a perception. And if you change the way you look at things,
Definitely.
the things you look at change.
Okay.
Not physically. Nothing changes, but everything seems different.
True.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. It's like the lens that you put on, and that becomes the perception that you have of life. And how do you find out what it is that you're thinking, or the quality of your thinking? When you feel like this, that's a sign. It's a little red flag for you to understand that being in that space means you're not thinking clearly.
True.
Because your brain is gripped tight
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
So relaxing into it and being yourself, not worrying too much about how things are going to work out. This is my favorite metaphor, and I got this from our coach.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how hard you try. You can only eat what's on your plate now.
True.
And we have this little saying like, there's so much on my plate, I've got so much to do. Try as you might, as powerful as you think you might be. You cannot eat what was on your plate yesterday.
Absolutely not.
And you certainly can't eat what might be on your plate
Yeah,
tomorrow.
true.
It will show up tomorrow, and then you'll be able to eat it or devour it or take care of it then. So worrying about what's going to turn up on your plate is really the wrong way
It's
to
not
go.
helping. Yeah.
Not helping at all.
But what about people that are really, really, they can't help but be in control of their situations? They're perfectionists. They want everything to turn out and work out well. What advice would you give?
So just noticing when you're feeling like this again,
Yeah.
some people are on medication and they have to be. I understand that. But there's always that idea that you can actually be better for yourself
Yes.
without trying to control things, because it's the control that does this again. So the more you try to
Yeah.
control, the further away you move from peace.
Yeah. Agree.
The more relaxed you are, the more peaceful you feel.
Love that. Do you want to talk more about the training that you have for coaches?
So basically, we put them on a 6-month training program, and we teach them everything they need to know about being a really good transformational life coach. And I emphasize that word because it's really about helping people to transform, not motivate them from the outside in, but inspire them from the inside out. Because it's the only way that we can really make a change in our lives. We can read, we can watch, we can try to copy, but those are just ideas from other people and opinions from other people.
Yes.
You want your own flavor
True.
of who you are.
Okay.
So when you become a coach, really it's looking at the experiences you've had in life and then honing those and allowing them to shape the style of coaching that you are going to be the most comfortable with.
Okay.
So nobody is
Okay.
excluded. If you
All right.
love helping people and you've heard a call to help people, that's what we do.
There's a buzzword, NLP, neuro-linguistic.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes.
Yes, I studied it and I
Okay.
used to coach from that place for a
Sure.
very long time. But again, it's a model or a concept that's kind of made to help people, but it's also short term.
Okay.
A
all right.
longer term is for you to find what the answer is from inside you. NLP is trying to manipulate the mind. It has its place,
Sure.
but I don't use it anymore. I use it for many, many
Yeah.
years because I like people to find out for themselves, not me telling them,
Okay,
them finding
I see,
it.
I see.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Does that answer
That
that
answers
question? 'Cause
perfectly,
you know,
yeah,
it's a, like you said, it is a buzzword,
Yeah.
and it's got its place, but certainly not from transformational coaching. Yeah.
Sharon, thank you so much. It was
You're
lovely
welcome.
having you on the show. Hope to see you again.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
After the break, we chat to Neville from Ndlondlo Reptile Park.
In life, we all want to achieve something. The dreams we believe in, the goals we want to achieve, and the problems that we want to overcome. But what holds us back?
I'm not a good wife. My children deserve a better mom. Maybe I should just end it all. I will never be enough.
Negative thinking should not be taken seriously. All it means is that the negative feeling and thinking has become a toxic, bad habit. And it's the feeling that actually keeps you stuck. To live a happy life, you need to realize that your feelings are simply an indication of your thinking. As your life coach, I help you realize where your thinking is keeping you stuck. You already have everything that you need within you to live a happy life.
Can my business survive the setback? How will I provide for my family? I feel so discouraged.
Feeling discouraged simply means that you have discouraging thoughts, and that makes you feel powerless and lose hope. This is never true. The only way out of a problem is to go inside of yourself and realize that you've simply got stuck in the feeling of that perceived problem. There's always a way out when you realize that it's really your thoughts that are creating your thinking. And that's what impacts the way that you live your life and the way that you act in your life. It really is an inside-out solution. Feeling stressed about the past or anxious about the future means that you're never fully present in the moment. And you can only ever make change in the present moment, moment by moment by moment.
Thank you, Sharon, for helping me understand how my mind really works. I'm so much more at peace knowing that nothing in my past has the power to stop me from being happy and fulfilled in my present life, no matter what my circumstances are.
Remember that not everything you think is real, nor should it be taken seriously. Negative or sad thoughts are simply bad habits that have been hardwired into your brain over time. Recognize that negative feelings are simply an indication that you are having negative thoughts. If you get into the habit of noticing that, your life will change dramatically and everything will feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. That's called having a positive mindset. I'm Sharon Castle, and I can help you start your journey today.
And we're back. I'm sitting with Neville from Ndlondlo Reptile Park. Neville, welcome back. Lovely
Thank
to see
you.
you again this morning.
Yeah, great to be here. It's such a lovely setting out here.
Beautiful. Yeah. So what's been happening in your world and what can we start looking forward to?
Well, yeah, I just want to firstly highlight different perspectives. You know, we as humans, we're so self-entitled, and a disaster like this flood that just happened sort of impacts our lives, and we just think, oh, woe be us. I mean, we just think this, but people don't keep in mind that we have the capacity
Okay.
to re-engineer, reconstruct,
True.
reshape,
Rebuild.
rebuild.
Yeah.
We have the capacity to call in our food lines, our food supply line,
Yes.
and which is a luxury that our neighbors don't have.
True. Yeah.
And so it's not a matter of, oh, well, I'll just go get 2 bags of cement and a bit of concrete chips and I can fix
Yeah.
this up and I can do this or do that.
Yeah.
They don't have the capacity to do that. And the devastation brought by these floods
Yes.
has totally plundered their existence.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Food supply is gone, and all their known structure is gone. The housing is now precarious because you just got to find some hollow
Some
somewhere.
shelter somewhere. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's not easy for the animals.
So it's survival of the fittest right now for the animals.
Well, yeah, it's not necessarily the fittest, it's
Yeah.
the best.
The best. Yeah.
You know, we've always said that in nature, the fittest survive. It's not necessarily so.
Okay.
It's the best.
Yeah.
The fittest may not have the brains and the capacity to adapt,
Sure. Yeah.
whereas someone that's mid-range can endure,
And
adapt,
yes.
and go
survive,
forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, that survival of the fittest only plays true when you've got a lion or a cheetah chasing you across the savannah. You know, otherwise it doesn't play true.
Sure.
But yeah, we've seen a tremendous amount of snakes coming out of human habitation.
Okay.
Just yesterday, I got 2 black mambas out of a shed.
Okay.
You know, just both in the same shed because what's left.
Exactly. Shelter.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, just the situation determines that that's the only hiding place. We've got to share it.
And the seasons are changing. Is there anything else that will be happening environmentally around?
Seasons are changing, so this is probably, the floods came at probably the worst time. They came at the onset of winter,
Yes.
where even our vegetable growth has slowed down,
Yes.
so regeneration is slow.
Okay.
And whatever was stored for animals that eat vegetable is gone.
It's gone.
And they're facing a winter, it's not going to regenerate.
Yeah. True.
And that immediately impacts the animals that eat other animals.
Okay. Yes.
And so
Sure.
it's going to be a long, tough haul, at least for the next 2 years.
Yes. Okay. That long.
That long, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to bring another generation into play
All right.
just now. And already male mambas are combating,
Okay.
and they've got the eyes set on a beautiful girl somewhere that's going to be the next generation coming
Okay.
in. But all the traditional egg-laying sites or breeding sites are now gone.
Yeah.
So the chances of this next generation actually surviving
Yes.
is pretty slim.
Okay. Ooh.
So it's going to have a major impact.
A lot. A
You know,
huge
going
impact. Yeah. And what are some of the things that you're doing on your side to obviously help and combat that type of situation or activity that's happening?
Well, we're getting reptiles that have been severely affected by the flooding down in the coastal zone
Okay.
to areas that weren't as badly
Impacted.
affected
Yeah,
and
yeah,
impacted.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, areas that can sponge up or absorb a lot of these animals that are now homeless
True.
and give them an alternative chance here. And then this
Okay.
area just has to recover at its pace.
Yes. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
we already got far too many mambas here.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring more mambas in here, you know?
Yeah.
So we certainly don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so our job is now to try and manage.
Okay.
That's our job
So,
at this
yeah.
point.
So manage and just damage control more than anything.
It's
Yeah.
damage control
Yeah. Yeah.
because we don't have the capacity to rebuild their lives.
Okay. True.
They essentially have to do that themselves.
Okay. All right. Well, on a lighter note, anything exciting happening at the park?
Hard work.
Hard work. Always hard work.
It's always hard work,
Yes.
but we've also got to take a lesson from what's just happened
Okay.
and see where our vulnerabilities are,
Sure. Yes.
and then try and sort of take preventative steps,
Yes.
which you started
Yeah.
doing,
Yes.
but it's an age-old thing.
Okay.
You need backs,
Yeah.
you know. And so, yeah, we just plodding on, doing the best we can
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Neville. Thank you for joining us again. We look forward to seeing you next week to chat about the developments in your area as well.
Yeah, I look forward to enlightening people, and we might just bring a surprise for people to see.
That would be lovely, a surprise guest.
A surprise guest.
After the break, we chat to Miss Ballito finalist Miresha. We're back and I'm sitting with Miresha, Miss Ballito finalist. Miresha, welcome on the couch. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning to you, my fellow North Coast friends.
Lovely. Miresha, tell us where you're from and what inspired you to join Miss Ballito.
I'm from Sharkus Kraal and I've wanted to take part for Miss Ballito for quite some time now.
Okay.
I've just been waiting to turn 18. Yeah, I want to build my self-confidence. I'm very community involved.
Okay.
In like a lot of community work. So this was like something I really wanted to do.
Lovely. And how do you feel it's been going so far?
It's been great. I've been loving every moment of it.
Yeah.
And especially with these floods and the water crisis, it's just like brought the vision of Miss Ballito to the fore.
Yes. So you've been heavily involved in some community work. What type of work have you been doing?
During the flood, I have been going with the tankers, escorting them around the area.
Okay.
I put together a flood relief program to assist the flood victims with hygiene kits. I'm part of the Sharkus Kraal Helping Hands, which started at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, assisting families who have contracted the virus and just other people in the area. So yeah.
That's very brave and bold of you, Miresha. So what are your next steps after Miss Ballito?
I've started my own organization called The Hope in the Golden Years. It's for the senior citizens.
Okay.
I decided to focus on this because I feel like the senior citizens are sort of like the forgotten generation, and we should be grateful to them for what we have right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to focus on them. It's going to be a weekly thing where they come in for physical fitness.
Lovely,
and then maybe on a monthly basis we get doctors to speak to them and just get beauty outlets to pamper them and provide a meal to them once a month.
That sounds like something that really truly appreciate. And do you have any assistance so far? Are you looking for people to participate and help you?
Yes, I have assistants with, like, as I said, I'm part of the Sharkus Kraal Helping Hands, so I have them with me, and then anyone else who wants to assist can also assist me.
Okay, fantastic. So if we want to follow you, support you, like you, share your page, how do we get in touch or how do we find you?
On Instagram and Facebook, I'm Miresha Miss Ballito Finalist 2022, and then I have an account for the organization Hope in the Golden Years.
We wish you all the best, Miresha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
After the break, we chat to Tara Parker from Tara Parker Professional Organization. We're back and we're chatting to Tara Parker from Professional Organization, or Organizing rather. So tell us about your organization and what it does.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here. Basically, so upon contact by a client, I would come through and the client would show me the areas that would need to be sorted out, decluttered, and I would help them organize their clutter into different types of piles, so to throw away memories or keepsakes, and I would obviously then coordinate it so that the client would have everything that they needed in their home accessible. So getting rid of clutter, things that you don't even know that you have in your house that you need, that you don't need. And yeah, basically I come in and I do the overall spring clean of your house. And yeah.
Tara, that's a very interesting profession. Tell me, how did you get started?
So I actually, a couple years ago, I found myself unemployed at home. And I just started decluttering my own home. And from there, I created my own business plan around decluttering, and yeah, I've wanted to start it for a while. So it has been something on the books. It is definitely something that I have always had a passion for. I've always liked neat and tidy spaces without a lot of clutter in them. And I think just a lot of people don't have the time to really get to that point where they're able to declutter. They also have a lot of unnecessary items that they don't realize they don't need. So I decided that I would help people realize that they're missing out on so much more on life because...
Okay. Tara, I can relate. I mean, I'm one of those people who keeps things from primary school, notebooks, books, pens, all sorts of things. I mean, how do you get someone to actually let go? Because it's quite an emotional thing to do.
It definitely is. A lot of people aren't exposed to ways to keep the necessary keepsakes.
Okay.
So, I mean, for example, I have memorabilia as well, you know, but a lot of the things in people's houses aren't being put to good use. I mean, would you like that photo album that's sitting in your, or that those photos that are sitting in your drawer, would you like those to be sitting in your drawer? Would you like those to be mounted on your wall?
Definitely mounted, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So it's not necessarily about getting rid of things. It's also about putting them to good use as well. Finding innovative ways to use them so that memory doesn't fade, that you can find good use out of things. And also by going through all of those stuff, or that stuff, you're able to actually see what is necessary in your life and what isn't. You know, I mean, if you've got a whole bunch of notebooks and everything, I mean, I do too. Notebooks are they're my weakness. But I mean, would you rather have 10 empty notebooks, or would you rather have one full notebook and then get, you know? And I mean, there's systems that you can put in place. I mean, if you want a certain amount of things, and you keep them at that level. So I mean, I could also help people find routines to the issues that they are having in their cluttered life.
Sure. Okay. Do you have any worst case stories that you want to share with us?
So not at this current moment. I'm actually busy with a project that's really fun, and
okay.
I don't see them as worst projects. I see them as like a lot of fun. I honestly walk into each project with a new experience in mind. I'm working at a school at the moment, and I'm just redoing their storage rooms. They've got 4 storage rooms that I'm working on currently, so I'm super duper excited about that. The entire process, it just makes me so excited because the end result is always so much. It's just there's a lot of satisfaction about seeing people happy and seeing that they can actually nurture their things and see their items and everything like that.
So there's no limit really if you need to declutter an office space, school, home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Alright.
I'm still in the pipelines at the moment. I haven't got any extreme clients.
Alright.
But yeah, I'm working slowly towards being able to get through to the higher clientele.
And for those that are interested, how long does this process take?
So generally so at the moment we don't have a time frame, so I would obviously come into the home or space, and I would analyze it according to what is in the area, what the client would need.
Okay.
If they would like most of their items not purged and not thrown away, then it would obviously take a process. This job that I'm currently doing now, each room would probably take between 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about a day's work for
Okay.
each room.
Okay.
Obviously depending on the size of the room and the mass of the stuff inside it.
All right. Awesome. So you've got a Facebook page, Instagram handle that you want to share with our viewers so they can follow you.
Sure. It's at taraparkerpro.org.
Perfect. Tara, lovely chatting to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
sharing some tips in terms of how we can declutter our spaces. We'll see you after the ad break.
Hi, I'm Steve Bezuidenhout, owner, director of hydropower based in Ballito. We're a power products company that specializes in hydraulics, power products and power tools. We are distributors of quality brands such as HVD hydraulic components, Briggs & Stratton lawnmowers, brush cutters, generators and Metabo power tools. Our target market is the construction and civils industry, transport and freight, agriculture and mining industry. So whether you need a hydraulic pump for your tipper truck, a commercial ride-on mower for your estate, a power drill for your construction company, or just a domestic lawnmower for your home, we are a one-stop shop. We offer sales, consumables, repairs, and services on all these products. We're based at 8A Kyalami Park, Ballito, and also ship goods nationally. You can get in contact with us via various channels, namely WhatsApp, the landline, email, website, Facebook, Instagram or LinkedIn.
The business started in 1995. We had been living in Ballito since 1989 already when my father moved here as an engineer on the N2 project. Like I said, Dad started the business in 95 after finishing up with the N2 road project. He started off very, very small, just fitting curtain rails and bathroom accessories and then shower doors, and then got his first bathroom renovation. within about 6 months or so. Yeah, so he sort of had to make it work, and I think that sort of drive and that ambition and that willingness to just contribute and give all for the needs of the family just was instilled in all of us. So yeah, we then going through school worked for Dad and with Dad on various occasions as labor only, just pocket
only.
Labor only, unskilled, and you're pushing wheelbarrows and getting down in the trenches with the rest of the guys. We didn't have skills. He wasn't going to give us preferential treatment because we were the son of the owner and what have you, and we didn't really expect that either. We were having, as three burly brothers with not even 4 years between us, we were all very happy to jump in and get stuck in the mud and all the rest of it. So I certainly feel very fortunate to have been able to work with him, and for the early part, certainly before I got involved seriously with the business, Dad and I were not on very good terms, as most 21-year-olds would be with their father who wants to instill good values, and I just want to jawl and party and go trekking all over the world. So yeah, but there was certainly a period of growth that happened before I got involved in the business, and it was important that happened, because the 5 years after I got involved in the business, I ended up purchasing 50% from my dad, which was a good little feather in his hat to say, that he had done his hard yards and could now put something aside for the hard work that he'd done for the business. I was incredibly fortunate to be able to take and get into a business that was already established, and not have to go through the toils that a normal person would, at that age. So there was still a lot of work to do, and it was a tricky time, but yeah, we got stuck in and yeah, the ups and the downs, but we still bobbing along.
It's wonderful, and I'm just absolutely blown away that you chose to buy into your dad's business. That just shows the values of the family values, and also just, I think, your values as a businessman in this town of Ballito, that you've invested in your own family and in the community, something that was built from your dad. What sort of services? Yes, we say building, but there's a lot more to building, which we're going to learn through this 13 episode show.
Yeah, so sure. Hey, if you look at the building from the outside and from the inside, and you start on the floor and you work your way up, or you start at the roof and you work your way down, every aspect of the building we've got a hand in. There's certain elements which we are specialists at, which we can do ourselves. And then there's obviously other elements that are more specialized that require other subcontractors or suppliers. So plumbing and electrical and those sort of aspects, we would get our preferred suppliers. And then in terms of our services, we've broken our company up into 4 divisions. We've got building, which obviously covers all building, wet works, any sort of wet works, is concrete and plaster and cement and bricks and any sort of good old traditional rugged building that you would think of. So that would cover that. Waterproofing is another big part of our business, just because of the area that we live in. Carpentry is another aspect, a lot of roofing, again touching on the waterproofing side slightly, but lots of carpentry and joinery, so roofing, doors, architraves, skirting, decking, and then obviously finishing. So we've changed our focus since the sort of lockdowns and all of that. We forced a lot of us to make big changes in our business, so we've changed our focus to focus more on additions, alterations, renovations, smaller jobs in comparison to what we were doing before, but it's more in line with where we're comfortable, and with our network and our suppliers, we're very comfortable in that space, and we produce a sort of quality that the clients are happy with. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
So we're just going to crack on with that. So the finishing is the last part, which covers tiling and anything painting, any detailing.
At Austral Accounting, we are more than chocolate counters.
At Austral Accounting, we specialize in accounting,
taxation,
company secretarial services,
business advisory services, accounting cloud software,
full payroll administration to ensure full compliance.
And we service our clients in English, Afrikaans and isiZulu.
Don't get caught with your hand in the chocolate jar when we can be your greatest asset.
Thank you so much to our guests, viewers and sponsors for making GMNC possible. We hope that you enjoyed the show with us. We close out the show with a music video showcasing Daniel Jenkins. Enjoy your week and catch you right here on Friday morning.
Deze intercity stopt ook in Amsterdam.
I was singing, there's got to be, there's gotta be, no, there's got to be a little bit of loving in the streets. We have to bring that perfect harmony. A little bit of loving in the streets. There's got to be perfect serenity. I've had the rhythm set in motion, regardless of the commotion. It's time to love again. It's like these streets with energy, steady on a hill, electricity for the world to see. Thinking about picking a new song, giving you goosebumps. Then the words I was singing, singing. There's got to be, there's gotta be. Oh no, no. There's got to be a little bit of loving in the streets. We have to bring that perfect harmony. There's got to be a little bit of loving